that's too bad, Mrs. Gorman. Well, tell him to take good care of himself and not to worry. We'll get out his column. All right, goodbye.
Yes, sir?
Tell Frank Hill that George Gorman is too sick to knock out his column at the World Series today. Tell him to get someone else.
Yes, Mr. Morris. Oh, why can't those guys let my column ride sometime without cutting it to pieces? Ow! They hire me to write a boxing column, and then they cut it down so that I might as well be writing about inter-city soccer. Someday I'm going to walk right into that Frank Hill's office and ask him whether I'm supposed to be writing sports or to put the Lord's Prayer on the head of a pin. Anytime I write anything decent, they always cut it. Copy readers. That's what they call themselves. Copy butchers, that's what they are. Butchers. Say, speaking about the butcher, how do you ever expect me to get out from behind the 8 ball if you're going to keep going south with the money I give you to pay the bills? I gave you $40 the other day to pay the butcher, and today I got a notice from him that we can't have any more meat till we pay the bill. What do you do with the money anyway?
Oh, I had to get some things.
Oh, I suppose that bottle of perfume at 35 per crack is one of the things, huh?
Well, I'm sick and tired of going around like something in the old lady's home. You haven't bought me a thing since we were married.
Oh, no?
And besides, if you had one spark of manhood in you, Joe McCoy, you'd be ashamed to let me go around the way I do.
Oh, honey, you'd look good to me if you went around in an old bath towel.
Yes, well, they're not wearing bath towels this year.
But if you'll just have a little bit of patience...
Yes, I know. If I'll just have a little bit of patience, you'll be making $75 a week next year. Just like you were making $75 a week last year. Well, I'm married to you this year. Hello. Oh, hello, Frank.
Listen, Joe, George Gorman is sick today. His old ticker's kicking up again. And the World Series opens this afternoon. Can you pinch hit for us on the Gorman column?
Could I? Just let me in there.
Mike will leave your ducats at the pass gate. Goodbye, Joe, and thanks.
Honey, what do you think? I'm going to sub for George Gorman today and do his column at the World Series. How's that, huh?
It'd be all right if you gave you some extra money for it.
Oh, honey, don't be like that. He's done me many a favor. Look, as soon as I'm through, I'll call you and we'll go places.
Yeah, where?
Well, we go to the theater. Any show you pick. The best seats in the house.
Really? You'll call me the minute you're through?
You bet. Bye, honey. Please, Mom, is this seat taken?
Oh, hello, Joe. So they finally got you writing apple opera.
What are you doing here, Joe? This is a ping-pong tournament, not a box fight.
I'm batting for Gorman. His ticker acted up last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, Gorman's just stolen, so he won't have to watch this childish nonsense.
Swell to see you here, Joe.
Oh, it's swell to see you too, Connie.
How long's it been since you saw a ball game?
Oh, 80 or 90 years. I hardly remember how many strikes are out.
Oh, what's the difference?
This may be all right for you guys, but I gotta have something to write a column about. Give me glasses.
Strike speed! Batters out!
Well, well, look who's here.
Who is it, Joe?
It's Marty Bluler. That's my column for the day. Marty Bluler's the guy that rigged up the Crooked World Series in 1919. The big brains of baseball bought him from the Parks forever. But I see he's right back at the old stand again.
Typhoid Mary, eh? Get a load of that. Wait a minute, what's that number?
Hello, morning register. I want to talk to George Gorman.
I'm sorry Mr. Gorman isn't here. He's been ill for several days.
Sick, eh? Who wrote his column today?
Joe McCoy.
Oh, Joe McCoy. Thanks.
Looks like we'll have to straighten that fellow McCoy out.
Hi. Hi, Joe. Don't jump, it's only me.
Quit your kidding, Joe.
Hi, fellas. Hello, Louise. Say,
Joe.
is the boss in? Don't tell me. I'm going in anyway.
Yes, you're quite right. Oh, I understand. Oh, he just came in. Yeah. I'll take care of him myself. All right. Sit down, Joe. That was the boss. He wants me to talk to you.
Well, what's the matter, Harvey? Wasn't the column okay?
You think that George Gorman is pretty good, don't you?
George Gorman? I think he's the greatest sports writer that ever lived.
So do I. But we had some pretty bad news about him this afternoon.
What?
Oh, not that bad, but pretty near. His heart's so bad he had to quit.
No.
Doctor has forbidden him even to listen to sports on the radio. Do you think you could fill his shoes?
I can try.
You're getting $75 a week. We'll start you at $150. If it works out, there'll be more money and a contract. Is it a go?
Is it a go? Is it a go? Oh, thanks a lot. So long. So long.
Hello, PPA. I wonder if you could give me the results on this evening's ping pong tournament.
Oh, never mind the ping pong tournament. Give me the phone. Flatbush 69178, and don't spare the horses. Flatbush 69178. Now hurry, will you?
Joe, Taylor just told me the swell news.
Oh, hello, baby.
When he told me I gave him a great big kiss.
Oh, gee, great break for Taylor. Well, there must be somebody there.
Joe, I'm so glad I could cry.
You're a sweet kid.
Hello?
Hello, honey. Now get yourself a good hole on the floor.
Joe McCoy, are you drunk? Well, go ahead. What is it? What? Darling, you don't mean it. Did you get a raise? Double. Oh, Joe, isn't that marvelous?
And listen, honey, we're going to do this thing right. I'm coming home, put on a boiled shirt, and after the theater, we're going to the casino. How does that strike you? Swell. I'll be home in about an hour or so. And, gee, baby, I'm crazy about you.
Hello? Is this Madame Celeste? This is Mrs. Joseph McCoy speaking. Yes, I must have an appointment at once with Gladys. Do you hear? At once. I'll have a shampoo and finger wave, a facial, a manicure, and, oh, yes, a pedicure. All right.
Wait a minute. It seems to me this occasion calls for a drink.
Do I hear sounds of approbation?
I'll say you do. Wait a minute. Listen to Joe, will you? Fellow citizens, I thank you. And it gives me great pleasure to announce that the drinks are on me. But first, I want to take a run over to old George Gorman's house. But if you'll meet me in an hour at Sweeney's, I'll buy the drink.
Now, don't overdo it, Papa.
All right, darling. Great piece you wrote for me today, Joe. Proud to have my name on it. I'm glad you're taking over my column, too.
Thanks, George.
About time somebody set that Marty shirt tail on fire. Never take a step back for any of those rats, Joe. You'll get along swell. You know all the angles, and you can write. Keep a clean nose, and you can always smell a phony.
You bet I will, George.
Now, then go in there and twitch, kid. One thing more. Mama, give me the masket. I want to show you something. I want you to have this, Joe. I picked it up in a little Cuban church in '98. Now, there's some guys that believe in horseshoes, and some always carry a rabbit's foot. Maybe it's a lot of hokum. But I've always felt the same way about this little fellow in the nightshirt. Look at him. Look at him. He's got his horn all ready to blow.
You mean that Abyssinian bassoon?
Yeah, and you keep your ears open for that, little tutor. I've always had a feeling that if ever I took any dirty dough, or let a mug like Marty Bueller slip over a fast one on me, the little guy here would give me the birdie. And I've never yet had him blow the whistle on me, Joe. That's why I want you to have him.
Thanks, George. Gee, you're a swell guy. And I'm never going to forget what you told me today. Well, I guess I'll have to go.
Goodbye.
So long, George. Goodbye, Mrs. Gorman.
Goodbye.
Take good care of him.
I will. Mr. McCoy's nice, isn't he, Papa?
Oh, he's the real McCoy.
Well, here's how, boys. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Mommy. Probably fall down a little. Honey,
Why do you have to do this to me, Joe McCoy? Why? Why?
Well, I didn't mean to do anything, and I did call you.
Out getting drunk with a lot of no-good sports writers.
Oh, they're all fine fellas. Besides, this is the first time this year I got a little stiff, and this is kind of a celebration.
Celebration. And me sitting home all night like a fireman's bride.
Well, I'll make it up to you, honey. Now, tomorrow night we...
Tomorrow night. That's all I've heard for 3 years, and I'm getting pretty sick of it. From now on, there's going to be a new deal around here, Joe McCoy. I'm going to have the clothes and the nice things that are coming to me. And I'm going to have the fun that's coming to me. If you're ashamed to take me out, there are plenty more that will. I'm going out the first thing in the morning and find us a decent apartment. I'm going to have it all. Everything, you hear?
Oh, all right, honey. Anything you say now. Let's go, huh? Goodbye, boys.
Come on.
Good night. So long, Joe. Nice girl, Joe's wife.
Saturday.
Oh, give us a nice drink.
Marty with us. I wonder if the main goal is going to turn out to be a boat race.
When that guy's around, there's generally something crooked in the air.
I think I'll give him a little dig in my column.
Hey, Marty, there's that Joe McCoy, the register over there. He's the guy that wrote that nasty stuff about you being at the ball game. Said you had something up your sleeve. Something ought to be done about him. Maybe you're right.
Hey, read all about it here. All the lasers, all about the big strike. Get your morning paper here, right here. Extra, all about the...
Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Mr. McCoy.
How is it?
Oh, swell. Say, what do you think of King's Ransom winning the Imperial Derby yesterday?
Still like the races, don't you, Jimmy?
Oh, you bet your life. I'm going to be a jockey someday. Wouldn't it be great to ride the Derby winner?
The race racket is a pretty tough business, Jimmy. You better stay away from it.
Ah, you know me better than that, Mr. McCoy. I can take care of myself.
Sure.
So long, Jimmy. So long, Mr. McCoy.
Oh, wait till you see it, darling.
Shall I open my eyes and close my mouth?
Silly. Well, here it is.
Well, so this is the new McCoy mansion, huh? How long have you been at it, honey?
About 3 weeks.
All this in 3 weeks? You ought to have a job in Washington. What's that, the plumbing system?
That's the latest thing in modern easy chairs.
Oh, an easy chair. I get it. Hard to get splinters.
Why don't you try it once?
All right. Oh, cozy as a bed of nails.
I'm having some cushions made for it.
All I hope is that you never get sore at me and beat me to death with it.
Silly. Come on and see the rest. That's a breakfast nook and kitchen.
Oh, necking in the nook, huh? Not bad.
Isn't it lovely? Come on, I want you to see the bedroom.
Say, how much did all this set us back?
Not very much.
No? How much?
$1,500.
What? $1,500? Did you pay for any of it?
Oh, well, of course, darling. The modern easy chair.
Well, we're square with the plumbers union anyway. $1,500.
Darling, I'm terribly sorry. Can I send it back, or...
Oh, no, honey. Don't you worry about it. We'll dig the dough up for it someplace. But, honey, promise me you'll go a little bit careful for a while, will you?
Yes, dear.
All I want is for you to like it. For you to be happy in it. Are you happy?
Yes, darling.
Mr. McCoy, why won't you listen? You be good to wrestling in your column, and we'll cash you in for a piece. That way we both make lots of money, huh?
Listen, Nick, you're all right, but don't get me sore at you. Now, scram out of here, will you? Anybody that takes wrestling seriously ought to have their head examined. To me, those Humpty Dumptys are just a bunch of laughs. They put on a great show, and that ends it as far as I'm concerned. I don't want any part of your racket.
But listen, he don't seem to...
Scram, will you?
All right, Mr. McCoy. You change your mind, let me know, huh?
Yeah, by carrier pigeon.
Uh-huh.
A lot of guys out in the reception room to see you, Joe.
Yeah, who are they?
Oh, Marty Bluler and...
Marty Bluler out there?
Yeah.
Well, let him come in and tell the rest of those eggs I'm having my teeth straightened.
Okay, Joe.
Listen, Sousa, don't you even start to pucker your lips at me.
Say, what's your opinion of Dan Parker?
Right down there.
Uh-huh. Yeah? Uh-huh.
Say, Jim, the Russian behemoth is dressed in that Texas hillbilly tonight over at Greensport. What's going over?
I don't know. There's not many Russians up.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Marty. What brings you here?
Oh, just a little sociable call. Mind if I sit down?
No, go right ahead.
Joe, why can't you and I be friends? You know, we could do each other a lot of good.
Yeah?
Sure. How'd you like to have a piece of a couple of fighters that are always in the dough? Fella can always use a little extra scratch. Am I right?
Well, they do tell me they're still using money for various things.
That's right.
What if I don't take your dough, Marty?
Well, that's up to you, Joe. It was only a suggestion on my part that we be friends. That's all.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Marty. I'll think over your little proposition, and I'll let you know.
Okay, Joe. See you around.
I'm alive. That's something. It's getting so the fellas resent a guy trying to be ethical.
You and your ethics. What good are they? Did you ever try and eat a nice big dish of ethics?
Baby, as long as I'm doing a column, I'm going to write what I please.
Well, if you keep on writing what you please, you're liable to find somebody else doing your column. And I hate to wear black.
Oh, honey, don't get upset.
All right. You rest, and I'll come back tomorrow afternoon.
Now that you're back in harness again, Joe, I think it'd be a good idea to cover the winter circuit for us. Start at the Rose Bowl game, then pick up the baseball training camps, and wind up with the fight at Miami.
Oh, gee, Harvey, that's swell. But look, you're not sending me out of town because Marty's mugs gave me a pushing around, are you?
No, no, Joe, nothing like that.
Okay, Harvey, thanks.
Say, Joe, maybe your wife would like that trip.
Maybe she'd like it. She'd be crazy about it.
All right, I'll give you a lineup of the towns.
Darling, where are you? Well, honey, come here. Come here, look. Come here. Come here, come here. Come here. Here. Now stand right there. Stand there now. All aboard. Train's now leaving for Dixie, Texas, and points west. Dallas, El Paso, New Orleans, Miami, Jacksonville.
Joe McCoy, are you drunk?
Drunk? I'm plastered with joy and emotion. Yay! Well, what's the matter, honey? Don't you get it? Look, you and I are going places. Little old Joe and his darling are going to make a swing around the winter sports circuit.
Oh, I see. You mean we're going to cover a lot of baseball training camps and sleep in honky-tonk hotels in hick towns all winter? Well, that's very interesting.
But think of it, honey. It'll get us away from the grind. When we're out at Pasadena at the Rose Bowl game soaking up the sunshine, the rest of the folks will be back here digging the slush out of their ears.
Pasadena? That's in California, isn't it?
Sure, and we're leaving with the team in the morning. And we're going to be living on an expense account, baby. All winter, with the checks piling up back here, we'll finally be able to get out from behind that old 8-ball. Football as it should be played. Think of it, California. Palm Beach suits, flowers, and sunshine. California, here we come.
Coming to you from the Rose Bowl game in Pasadena, where the country's 2A teams are fighting for the football supremacy of the nation. The world-renowned golden California sunshine is missing today, and instead, as a surprise novelty for our friends to the east, the weatherman has called it off and called some rain.
Nice day, huh? Why, she's leaving. Oh, I'll admit the weather was a bit unusual, as you call it. But speaking of the weather, how about another drink?
That's a great idea.
Another drink for the local scribe.
You seem to forget, Mr. McCoy, that you brought your wife out here with you.
Oh, I was having so much fun ribbing the coast defenders, I forgot all about her.
She got soaking wet. She practically drowned at the game today.
Yeah. Say, you see that they get everything they want, and I'll bring her right out.
Okay. Come on, boys. Step right up. This is the bar. Name your drinks.
Hello, honey. Did you get thawed out? Here, I brought you a drink.
Thanks for those tramps in the other room.
Oh, now, honey, don't be like that. Come on out and say hello to the boys. They've been asking for you.
Well, I'm not asking for them. Look at that dress. And these shoes. Well, what's funny about it?
Oh, honey, was it my fault it had to rain in California one day in the year? Come on, now, be a sport.
Sport. Sports. Be a sport. Oh, I loathe that word.
Now, don't get yourself all worked up.
Watching a lot of mugs punch and fall down on each other while you choke to death on the smoke.
Now, please take it easy.
Sleeper jumps with those ball players cracking wise. Sports. Why didn't you get in the decent business?
Come in.
You wanted the porter, lady?
Oh, yes. Will you take that trunk and these bags, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait a minute. What's the idea?
The idea is I'm taking the 8:45 train back to New York. You take the trunk.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, keep your paws off that trunk.
Yes, sir.
Will you please take that trunk?
Now, wait a minute. You're not going to New York or any place else tonight but to bed.
Well, if it's not New York, I'm through. Through, do you hear?
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Go on, I'll get out of here.
Will you take that trunk, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Go on!
Joe! Joe!
It's all right. You'll be right out.
I want to talk to him because he made a flip crack about unusual weather. Where is Joe?
All right. You can come in and get him now.
Yes, sir.
How far is it from here to the station in a taxi?
About 5 minutes, sir. I'll be right back after those.
You can just about make it.
About money, Joe.
Oh, sure. I'll tell the office to send you my check every Thursday till I get back.
You're sweet.
Come on, you better go.
Keeping to the narrow, my fathers wouldn't lay. Why do they build the ocean close to shore? Get a hammer, there's a fly on baby's head. For the boy's best friend is his mother. Is his mother. Is his mother. For the boy's best friend is his mother. And the mockingbirds are singing on a string. Keeping to the narrow, my fathers wouldn't lay. Fly on
everybody doing?
Joe, we're doing swell. Say, how about meeting the missus? Where is she?
She caught a little cold at the game, and she sends her regrets.
Gee, that's a tough break.
Yeah, she'll be okay. You go ahead and have a good time.
Hey,
Listen.
Joe, what's really the matter with Maxine?
She's all right.
Oh, come on, Joe. This is Connie. Give me the lowdown. What is it?
She went back to New York. Oh, conductor, when do we get to the next stop?
In just about 4 minutes.
Thanks.
Hey, Joe, come on over, sit down and take a hand.
I can't. I gotta get this telegram off to my wife at the next stop.
Some operator's gonna get a big laugh.
Well, they'll never be able to understand this. It's in code. Look, 1,000 X's. I-L-Y, Joe.
That's the oldest code in the world. Harris used it when he was sending mash notes to Helen of Troy. Historians tell us that Mark Antony scribbled those magic letters on the parchment billet-doux he sent to Cleo.
Gee, and I thought I was being original.
Well, come on, let's play. What'd you say, Deuces Wild? Deuces Wild, yeah.
All right, leave me 4 cards.
How about you, Harry?
Oh, well.
All right, give me 2.
Nothing wrong, I hope.
No, just a message from a traveling man. Come on, let's finish our drinks and go places. I need excitement.
So do I.
You know, I feel lucky tonight, with you calling me up and everything. And when I feel lucky, there's only one thing to do.
Number 10, the black number, first call.
Well, I guess I shouldn't have felt so lucky. I'm clean.
I'm broke, too, unless I can cash this check.
Place your bets, please.
Let's try.
All right.
Okay, Toots. I know it's his turn to win tomorrow night, but I'll fix it for you. Look, your boyfriend's got a blonde that lives in Boston. She's going to be at the match. I want him to win tomorrow night, okay?
Well, okay.
Okay, you can win Friday night. Now get out of here, you apes. I'm busy.
Don't forget Friday night.
Friday night. Beat it now. Come in.
Pete wants to know if you'll okay this.
Joe McCoy, eh? Who wants to get this cash?
Some swell-looking dame out there.
Dame, eh? Show her in.
Yes, sir. You know, I still think that system of mine ought to work.
We'll try it again, just as soon as the boy comes with the money. Luck.
I beg your pardon, miss. The boss wants to see you.
See me?
Yes, it's about your check.
Oh. Looks like you have to go through the 3rd degree to get a check cashed around here. I'll be back in a minute.
Right. Follow me.
Come in.
My name's Maxine McCoy. I'm an American citizen. My age is my own business. The check is perfectly good, and the reason I wanted cash is because I like your pretty wheels. Does that answer everything?
Well, practically everything. Won't you, sit down?
I don't mind.
So you're Mrs. Joe McCoy.
Right. You must have read the check.
Joe's a sports writer, isn't he?
You're right most of the time, aren't you, Mr.
Bluler. Marty Bluler.
Oh, yes, I believe I've heard Joe speak of you. Well, do I get my check cashed?
You don't have to cash that check, Mrs. McCoy. Your credit is good here. Anytime you want a stack of chips, just go to the cashier's window and sign for them. Give them that card.
Thanks.
Oh, think nothing of it. You know, it's too bad that Joe and I don't get along. We could do each other a lot of good.
Yes, it is too bad. Maybe something can be done about that.
Well, that'll be swell. Awfully nice of you to come in, Mrs. McCoy. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Excuse me a minute, darling.
Surely. Yeah, let me have that.
Joe!
Oh, honey, 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 honey. Oh.
We're having a party for you, darling.
Well, come on inside. Let me get a look at you.
I would have met you at the train, but I couldn't leave our guest.
Oh, of course you couldn't, honey.
Oh, come on, you're the guest of honor.
All right. Isn't that Marty Bluler in there?
Why, yes, darling. Why?
Where did you meet him?
He's a friend of Mary's. I've never seen him before.
And who are the rest of those cheap heels?
They're just friends.
Say, I haven't seen you in 4 months, and I come home to find my house full of half the tramps of Broadway. And you call them your friends. And I used to worry about you being lonely.
Joe, you're hurting me.
Marty Bueller in my house with my wife.
Joe! Joe!
Where are you going, Maxine?
Joe just left and he's fit to be tied.
I told you to meet him at the station.
Well, he found his way here, didn't he?
Where's he gone?
Probably down to Julius's. You'd better get that bunch out of here before we get back.
You think you can square things? About me, I mean?
You leave everything to me.
Julius, what do you do when something you love gets tangled up with something you hate?
Bring another glass.
Yes, sir.
Joe, look at me. Please look at me. I know that whatever happened tonight was my fault, and I'm sorry. I want to make it up to you. I know I've messed things up terribly. But, darling, the only reason Marty Bluler was there tonight was because I thought maybe you and he could be friends.
What? Me be friends with Marty Bluler after his mugs gave me a pushing around and put me in the hospital? Guess again, baby.
Well, please don't misunderstand me. After all, I don't want to be spending all my time visiting you in hospitals just because you and he aren't friends. Well, can't you understand why I did it?
Oh, I can understand a lot of things. And I'm not blaming you. You did what you thought was best. But Marty and I can never be friends. Now, promise me something, will you?
Well, yes, darling, of course.
Well, promise me if you ever see that guy again, if you ever run into him, even if he's a block away, you'll duck him. He's poison to me.
Of course, darling. Well, how about a hello kiss? After all, it's been a long time.
Pardon?
Hello, Joe. One of the boys said you wanted to see me. What's on your mind?
Plenty. Sure. Now, look, Marty. It won't take me very long to say what I've got to say. It's just this. When I came home the other night, I found out that you and your mob had moved in on me. Now, just because you happened to meet my wife and she treated you like a decent guy is no reason that I have to do the same thing. She didn't know any better, the poor kid, until I put her wise, but I know better, see? Now, that puts us back just where we started, Marty, only more so. Now, that's what I had to say. Now you can scram out of here.
Yeah?
Yes, and quick, too.
Well, wait a minute. You're wrong about one thing. We're not back where we started from. We're way ahead of that spot. Take a look at those. Sort of a diary your wife kept when you were making those sleeper jumps down south.
Now, don't take it so hard, Joe. It's only $5,400. That's not much for a big shot like you to pay off. Or maybe you don't want to pay off. Maybe you'd like to have me show him to Harvey Morris.
All right, Marty. Take me off the fire. You got a proposition now? What is it?
That's the stuff, Joe. I always said that you were a regular guy. Just took a little time to wise you up, that's all. All you got to do is to listen to me and play ball. I always said that we could do a lot for each other.
You mind if I take a little time? There's somebody I want to see.
No, take all the time you want. Take all day. See you around, Joe.
Honey, why did you have to do that to me? Why did you have to lie to me about that guy? You told me he was a friend of your girlfriend's, and I was sucker enough to believe you. And it'll get out. Everybody in town will be watching me. Read Joe McCoy for fearless comments on sports. Huh. And Marty Bluler, the biggest racket man in town, holding $5,400 worth of my wife's IOUs. Oh, it isn't the money so much. It's the fact that you lied to me about never laying eyes on that guy before. Why did you have to do that to me?
Well, you told me to have a good time while you were away. And besides, I don't see how it would hurt you to play ball with Marty.
Oh, no? Well, I never took any of that kind of dough in my life before, and I'm not going to start now. I'm paid to right the straight of things. I guess you never heard about ethics.
So you're going to bring that up again, are you? Well, I'm sick and tired of your ethics, Mr. McCoy. You'd better go out and find some nice little dame for yourself that can trim hats with them. Personally, I don't give a hoot for your ethics.
Honey. Oh, running out on me, huh? Nice going. Drop me a postcard, will you?
Will if I think of it.
Oh, honey, look. Don't leave me. Please don't ever, ever leave me. I'll play ball with Marty. I'll do anything. Anything that you want, if you'll just stay. Marty? Joe McCoy. You win. Real McCoy.
Hello, Murphy. Say, listen, what's the idea of picking Golden Glow to win the fifth in Aqueduct? I told you I was going to pick him. Yeah, I know, but if we're going to handicap horses...
Gee, your name looks swell up there, Mr. McCoy.
Oh, hello, Jimmy.
I'm glad I ran into you. I was just on my way up to your office to thank you. You know, I'm riding now. I had a winner last week at Jamaica. Did you read about it?
Nice going, kid.
And I just want to tell you that I'll never forget what you've done for me.
Oh, that's all right, Jimmy. So long.
So long.
talk to McCoy in the sports. Yeah. Get this. Hello, Joe. This is Marty. I didn't like that column of yours this morning. Wait a minute, I'll tell you what I want.
Okay. 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 What? Oh, listen, Marty, don't ask me to plug wrestling. I swore I'd never.
Joe, I thought we understood each other.
All right. All right. Only don't crowd me!
Looks like you're kind of in the driver's seat, Marty.
Well, that's a little trick that you turned for me, baby. Say, why don't you give that chump back to the Indians?
Oh, I don't know. Joe's kind of sweet. In lots of ways.
Say, I bought a boat today. Picked it up from a fellow who used to be a big shot in Wall Street. Swell layout. I've been thinking I might organize a cruise. I have an idea that a sea voyage might do us both a lot of good. Hey?
Better save some of that for a snake bite, don't you think?
Oh, I got a snake bite.
Oh, Joe, what's the matter? You've been missing columns lately, and the stuff you do write isn't you. And everybody's talking about you.
Oh, tell everybody to mind their own business.
And you're different, too. You're not the same old Joe McCoy we used to love. Is it Maxine?
You leave her out of this. And you keep your nose out of my business. Now get out of here. Go on. Get out.
What's the matter, kid?
Never mind, forget about it.
Say, you're a little stuck on that bozo, aren't you? Now, let me tell you something.
I don't want to hear it. Let me alone.
Send for me, Harvey?
Yes. When I asked you if you could fill George Gorman's shoes, you jumped at the chance. For a while, you filled his shoes, too. You wrote some grand columns. I could forgive you hitting the bottle, even missing a column now and then. But all of a sudden, all the guts went out of your copy, and I think I know the reason why. You and your wife have been pretty palsy-walsy with Marty Bluler, haven't you, Joe?
You don't think I'm a friend of that rat, do you?
What about your wife?
Well, she's met him, but you don't think I sold you out, do you?
Yes, I do. And so does the boss. You're through, Joe.
Oh, I'm not that, Harvey. Let me stay in there and pitch for a few more weeks, and I'll prove to you that I don't like Bluler any better than you do. Give me another chance, will you?
There's no spot on this sheet for chiselers and connivers. And it's going to be tough for anybody that plays around with Marty Bluler to stay on any decent sheet in this town. I'll see to that. That's all, Joe.
Is that him?
Yes. Joe. Joe. Hello, Joe. How are you? This is Connie.
Connie? Connie?
Yeah, sure, Joe. Connie.
Connie Travers? Of the New York Register.
Yes, the good old Register.
All the boys at the Register are sore at poor old Joe. Oh, sore.
Oh, now, Joe, that's silly.
They threw me out of the troop. I don't care. I don't care. 6 newspapers in 4 months. But I get around a lot. Don't you think I get around a lot? Huh?
Thanks. Here, Joe. Take some of this. You'll feel much better. There. Come on, some more. And I never saw a man go down so fast. I don't know whether you care enough about him to save him, but I thought you should know. He's been in the back room of a waterfront saloon at the foot of 9th Street for 4 days. Sometimes he's only half conscious. And you're the only one who can do anything about it.
I'll do something about it. I've been trying to locate him. There's something I want to take up with him, a little matter of divorce. And, would you mind doing me a favor, Miss Travers?
I know.
Well, get out of here and see if you can get along without sticking your nose into my affairs.
I'm sorry I intruded. Goodbye, Mrs. McCoy.
Get me Bellevue Hospital, please.
Just a moment, please.
Hello, Bellevue. This is Mrs. Joseph McCoy speaking. My husband has been drinking in the back room of a saloon on West 9th Street in the river for 4 days. Yes, West 9th Street in the river. He won't leave the place, and he's bothered with a bad case of seeing things. Yes, all sorts of things. I think the best thing to do is to pick him up and see that he rests for a few days. Thank you.
Have you or Mr. Joe McCoy registered here? He just got out of the hospital this afternoon.
Mr. McCoy don't stay here now. Mr. McCoy baggage is staying here, but not Mr. McCoy.
That sounds logical. But in the meantime, have you any idea where I can find Mr. McCoy?
No, I'm sorry, lady, I don't. But you try walking through the park over here. You see, most of the time, when somebody leaves the baggage in this hotel, they park themselves in a bench in the park. It's so close.
I see. All right, I'll try the park. Thanks.
E li prego di dire a McCoy che mi paghi $14 perché non volevo mica lavorare la mattina.
Oh, hello, Connie.
I thought I'd find you here, Joe.
You know, they told me that the park bench eventually gets all newspaper men, especially if you stay a newspaper man.
Sure. Some of our greatest literary minds have slept in this park. Look, Joe, I've got news. I talked to Harvey Morris, and I almost convinced him you weren't playing around with Marty and his gambling mob. And he's willing to take you back on probation.
You mean I can write my old column again?
Well, no, not that. But he'll let you write boxing.
Oh. Me write boxing after being the top man on the sheet. Well, guess again, Connie.
Oh, I know, Joe, but it's a job. Can't you understand? It's a job.
Yeah, everybody's offering me jobs, even Meathead. He gave me a card and told me that I could run his cousin's pool room on the Fulton Street fish market. Take bets from the fishmongers. Joe McCoy, the bookmaker, no less.
Well, take it. Take something, anything to get back on your feet, Joe.
Yeah, and then what? No, it's no use, Connie.
So you won't get up on your hind legs. You'll turn down a job just because of your pride. Gee, Joe, you're great.
Oh, you too, huh? You're going to put me on the grease the same as the rest of them.
Yes, me too. You know what's the matter with you, Joe McCoy? You get a greater kick out of this new act of yours. Poor old Joe. The cigar butt that walks around like a man.
Now listen, Connie.
It isn't the booze that's got you, Joe. It's the self-pity. The mighty oak toppled by the elements. Well, have you picked out a river yet? You might just as well. Stand up and stick out your left.
Hello, Miss Travers. This is Mr. Joe McCoy of the 10th Avenue McCoys. How would you like to put a $2 bet down on Flying Dolphin in the 6th today? All the fishmongers in the white aprons seem to think he's going to win in a breeze.
Joe, you're working.
Yeah. I guess that little smack on the kisser you gave me the other night kind of woke me up.
Oh, that's swell. Where are you living?
Oh, I have a very nice apartment down at 704 South Street. Hot and cold running water in every room. One room.
Oh, I'm so glad. You'll be hearing from me soon.
All right. Goodbye, Connie.
Jimmy. What brings you here?
Well, I'm looking for Mr. McCoy, Miss Travers. Could you tell me where he is?
Something for the paper? Maybe I can handle it.
Well, no, ma'am. This is something for Mr. McCoy personal. And I've just got to find him, Miss Travers. I've been looking all over for him, and, well, I thought maybe you could tell me where he is.
Yes. He's at 704 South Street.
Thank you very much.
Okay, give him my regards, will you?
Yes, ma'am.
Come in. Oh. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Mr. McCoy. Gee, I'm glad I found you.
Well, how did you know I was here?
Well, I went up to the newspaper where you used to work, and Miss Travers told me where you were.
Oh, sit down. What's on your mind?
Mr. McCoy, when you're in the newspaper business and you get a story that nobody else gets, what do you call it?
A scoop.
Well, I got one for you.
Oh, that's great. What is it?
Well, I'm riding Harrigan's Chance in the Milford Handicap Saturday. He's a great horse, and he's a cinch to win the race. He'll go to the post a favorite. So today, Frankie Martin, he rides for the Marty Bluler stables. Comes to me and makes me a proposition.
Oh, Marty Bluler, huh?
Yeah. Now, this is what he wants me to do. Listen.
Hey, Chief.
Excuse me.
Speak to you a minute.
What is it?
Mrs. McCoy is outside again.
Tell her I'm busy.
I've been telling her that for weeks.
Well, tell her again. Get rid of her.
I'll try.
Well?
The boss said he's too busy to see you.
Oh, is that so?
He said he's too busy to see you.
Will you tell him for me that I said I'm going to get even with him if it's the last thing I ever do?
Harvey, I gotta talk to you.
I told you.
Now, wait a minute. I know you think I'm a bust and all that, but before you throw me out of here, listen to a story. It means a swell yarn for you and an awful lot to me. Maybe it'll prove to you what I tried to tell you before, that I don't like Marty Bluler any better than you do. That's why I want you to listen to this kid's story.
I don't want to hear it.
But you gotta listen, Mr. Morris. I'm riding Harrigan's Chance in the Milford Handicap Saturday. And I want to tell you about this fellow, Marty Bluler.
Go ahead, I'll listen.
Well, you saw Jimmy. What'd he say? It's all right. Go ahead and talk.
Well, I propositioned him like you told me to.
Well, what'd he say?
Well, he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. Listen, Mr. Bluler, Jimmy wants to see you tonight, and he wants his dough in advance if he's going to play along.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But you don't have to worry about anything. Jimmy on Harrigan's Chance is right between Red Mahoney and myself. And between the two of us, he's not going to go very far. Now, why don't you save your money? You don't have to pay this guy off. Why, he's in a natural pocket that he can't get out of.
I don't want any slip-up. I've got a lot of dough on this race, and I want to collect. Now, you know what to do. Go ahead and do it.
Yes, sir.
Don't make any dates for Saturday, baby, because you and I are going out and do a lot of shopping. How about another little drink, huh?
Why not?
How are you, young fella? You know, I'm not in the habit of hanging around stables, but my boy Frankie tells me that you wanted to see me personally. All right, here I am. What's the answer, yes or no?
Well, I guess I'll string along, Mr. Bluler, but I'd like to have my money in advance.
Yeah? You're a smart kid. This is probably the easiest $2 grand that you've ever earned. I want you to get these orders. You've got a fast horse. Okay. I want you to make the pace as soon as you get away from the post. Frankie and Red will get you in the pocket right from the start to make it look good. But get this. If your nag breaks through and you can't hold him back to let Frankie get by, I want you to slip out of the saddle as you're coming around the turn into the stretch. And if you do slip off, make it look good. You get me?
Yes, sir, I get you. Okay.
That's the way I want it. Okay.
Nice work, kid.
We're proud of you, Jimmy.
Well, Harvey, is it a story or is it a story?
Don't you think we ought to notify the stewards?
No, that's not the way to do it. Look, Jimmy, when you get to the starting gate tomorrow, keep shaking your horse up until the starting judge loses his temper. He'll put you on the outside, then you'll be out of the pocket. And then when you do get away, get your horse down in front and keep him there. You get it?
You bet I get it, Mr. McCoy.
We're betting on you, Jimmy.
Well, you can do that. Say, wait a minute. You better take this $2,000. I don't want it.
I'll take care of it. Now let's go.
Riders up.
Now, Frankie, be sure and follow my instructions.
Don't worry, it's in the bag.
Now remember, Jimmy, just let him have his head.
Okay, boss.
They all set, Connie?
You bet, Joe. We've got the extras all printed, and everything's all set to turn the boys loose in the grandstand the minute the race is over. And listen, Joe, get a hold of one of those extras. I think you'll like it.
Now's your chance, honey, to see me make a big cleanup. Keep your eye on this race.
What if we keep close to this and don't fall off?
Don't worry, you'll fall off all right.
Keep your heels away from
Calm down.
Ho, ho, ho!
Hey, Moore, plant that horse. What's the matter? Can't you handle him? All right, boys, line him up again. See if we can get away this time.
All right, I got him.
Ho, ho!
Take that number 6 horse and put him on the outside.
He's not going to get away with that.
So you're starting at 2. Hey, put that number 9 horse on the outside, too. And hurry up.
Trying to pull a fast one, huh?
Ruler's jockey got wise to Jimmy shaking his horse up, so he did the same thing and was moved to the outside, too. That means he'll try and pocket Jimmy. Coming into the backstretch now, Connie. Those 2 jockeys have got Jimmy pocketed. Anything can happen now. Come on, pull over there, Rat, and let me through.
Hey, if that kid gets out in front, you guys step in and cover me up.
Kid's getting away with the boss.
Get that quiet Roscoe out.
The boy was hanging on the horse when he went over the finish line.
Now get out the horse. Hurry up.
What happened? Ow. Ow, don't touch my shoulder. It hurts right here. Let me look. I'll be careful.
Doc, this boy's been shot. Here, Grab Marty Blula. Don't let him get away.
What?
Is it bad, Doc?
No, he'll be all right. It's a good thing it wasn't 3 or 4 inches lower, though.
Hey, Marty. Think the DA will want to be seeing you about this headline?
All right, boys.
What'll it be?
Give me a glass of sarsaparilla.
All right.
Did you hear how they tried to frame the big handicap this afternoon?
Yeah, I was just reading about it in the papers.
Attention. We interrupt this program with a news flash on the attempt of Marty Blula to frame the Milford handicap this afternoon. 3 of Blula's henchmen, identified by race fans as the men who shot Jimmy Moore, have confessed. A few moments ago, as Marty Blula stepped from the district attorney's office, he was shot by a woman who then turned the gun on herself and committed suicide. The woman was identified as Maxine McCoy, Marty Blula's former sweetheart. We now resume our program of dance music.
Too bad. Yeah. You know, things happen pretty fast for me today.
They happen faster than you think they did, Joe.
What do you mean?
Harvey Morris says your old job is waiting for you anytime you want to come back.
You mean I can have my old job again?
Yes. Look, Joe, I thought maybe you might like this. It might sort of help.
Well, Susan, my old pal. Connie,
Yes, Joe?
do you think you could pick the pieces of me up and do a little job of mending?
Could I?